The average Chinese may think of Poland as a land of shipyards and strudel, but a folk art exhibition in Beijing is expected to offer a fresh insight into the former communist country. The show, which takes in antique artifacts, folk costumes, musical instruments, as well as contemporary designs, opened at the National Art Museum of China, or NAMOC, last week and will last through September 16.
You can see that everywhere, every pattern here is inspired by traditional motifs. So this is what it's reinvented, somehow put into the modern shapes. It's just fantastic.
Paper crafts that originated in Poland's rural areas, used as Easter and Christmas decorations, are another highlight at the exhibition. The cutouts, an art form already familiar to most Chinese, also display how much China and Poland folk culture have in common, according to curators. Wu Wei-shan, director of NAMOC, said paper crafts are national treasures for both Poland and China. Yet the two countries also have something else in common. Polish clothing is a reflection of their fervent folk culture that embodies singing and dancing. And when you see folks in Chinese costumes, you can also hear folk music and see the folk dance.
Normally we could think like, well, this traditional things, traditional motifs disappear, but they are not. You can see it everywhere, in very beautiful objects you use every day.
All exhibitions on show are selected from the collection of the State Ethnographic Museum in Warsaw. A villager called the police in southwest China's Yunnan province recently, saying they had raised 2 black bears in their house and asked for help. According to the villager Wang Kai-yu, he bought the 2 bears 2 years ago from a Vietnamese who claimed that they were a couple of watchdogs. The 2 doggies grew up day by day, as did their appetite. Their appearance and weird behavior finally revealed that they are black bears instead of dogs. Wang bought the 2 bears as pets at first and had no idea that his action had violated the law until he got access to a campaign to protect wild animals carried out by the Forestry Public Security Bureau of Maguan County. It was then that he was aware that the black bears are nationally protected. In spite of all the hesitation and unwillingness to give up black bears, they decided to hand them to the Public Security Bureau and hope the authorities concerned can find a proper place for the bears to live. Since black bears are quite ferocious and there is no proper place for them to grow free in Maguan County, the Bureau contacted the Wild Animal Shelter of Yunnan Province and sent the 2 bears there for protection. Feng Lingui, a staff member of the Wild Animal Shelter of Yunnan Province, said they have identified that these 2 animals are indeed black bears. The bears are about 3 years old and quite healthy. One of them is male and the other female. Feng said they will take the bears to their shelter where the bears can breed and be protected. Manufacturers of smart equipment vied to unveil new models at a recent major trade show in Shanghai, looking to boost sales in the world's biggest market for industrial robots. More than 300 companies from around the world showcased their products at the China International Robot Show, making the exhibition the largest of its kind in China. Exhibitors at the show said that they have been trying to develop smaller designs and higher safety standards. Chang Feng, general manager at the Shanghai-based company named Tech, said when the robot is moving at 1 meter per second and bumping into someone, it is able to trigger an emergency brake mechanism and stop right away, so it is quite safe and cooperates perfectly with workers. The red machine of Tech differs from traditional robot arms because it is controlled by motor-powered springs, but not tied directly to a motor itself. Comau, a multinational firm hailing from the Italian city of Turin, said the new generation of industrial robots will not only have higher endurance and precision, but also become faster and smaller. Bei Chao, Comau's regional marketing manager for China and Southeast Asia, said what they are showcasing is a general trend of the robotic industry. Robots are being accepted into the home appliance sector and further on into the industries of computer, communication and consumer electronics. The robots are also being further miniaturized. In China, demand for industrial robots has increased dramatically. Last year, sales of robotic technology reached 56,000 units, up 55% compared with 2013. This comes as China faces a serious shortage of skilled workers. Some 600,000 to 800,000 more workers are needed in China's manufacturing heartland of Guangdong alone, according to the local authority in charge of human resources and social security.
China is the biggest market and will continue to grow very, very fast. With this, we see we can play an important role in this Industry 4.0 in the Made in China 2025.
The Shanghai Industry Show included smart humanoid robots and a variety of specialized robots. Chinese brands take up almost half of the exhibition booths. The ancient city of Ephesus in western Turkey has been added to UNESCO's World Heritage List following a vote in Bonn on July 5th. The move came just a day after Diyarbakir's fortress and its nearby Hefsel Gardens were added to the list as well. The Diyarbakir fortress and the city's Hefsel Gardens were inaugurated into the list during the 39th session of the committee, held in the German city of Bonn late on July 4th. Located on the escarpment of the upper Tigris River basin, which is part of the so-called Fertile Crescent, the fortified city of Diyarbakir and the surrounding landscape has been an important center since the Hellenistic period, through the Roman, Sassanid, Byzantine, Islamic and Ottoman times to the present. The site encompasses the Amida Mound known as Ekali or Inner Castle, the 5.8-kilometer-long city walls of Diyarbakir with their numerous towers, gates, buttresses and 63 inscriptions from different periods, as well as Hefsel Gardens, a green link between the city and the Tigris that supplies the city with food and water. Meanwhile, the Temple of Artemis, which was considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world, is situated on the edge of the Ephesus. The city, which was situated at the beginning of the Persian Royal Road, has survived sufficiently enough to enable us to understand the ancient way of life in Ephesus. It is one of the cities which played an impressive role in the beginnings of Christianity and during the period of its proliferation, St. John Church and the Shrine of the Virgin Mary. It contains one of the most spectacular examples of religious architecture of the Seljuk period. Deer in Japan's ancient capital of Nara was summoned from the woods last Sunday in a traditional ritual. The traditional shikayose, or deer call, began more than 100 years ago as a tourist attraction. The ceremonies are held during the summer and winter in Nara Park. About 80 deer emerged when a ceremonial horn was played. They devoured acorns and other food provided by a foundation that was set up to protect the animals. Visitors took photos and fed the animals. A woman from Osaka said she was surprised and happy to see so many deer. The deer call will be held on weekends and national holidays through August. A bunch of grapes has fetched a record 1 million yen at an auction in the central Japanese prefecture of Ishikawa. 31 bunches of the Ruby Roman variety were put up for auction last Thursday for the first time this year at a wholesale market in Kanazawa City. One bunch fetched the highest ever price of 1 million yen, or around $8,250, far exceeding the previous record of $4,500. This means a single grape costs more than $300. The Ruby Roman variety first hit the market in 2008. Market sources say the opening of the Shinkansen bullet train line connecting Tokyo and Kanazawa earlier this year pushed up the prices of the high-end product. The Ishikawa prefectural government spent 14 years developing the variety that features high sugar content and larger grapes that measure over 3 centimeters in diameter. The 1 million yen bunch will be served as a dessert for a dinner course on Thursday night at a hotel in Kanazawa. The chef at the hotel said he placed the highest bid in the hopes of spreading the word about high-quality products produced in the prefecture, where the Shinkansen line is attracting a growing number of visitors. He said he feels great that his bid was successful. The filling of water to the bay constructed under the second stage of the Hambantota harbour has commenced. The extent of the space is 84 hectares. The objective of the government is to construct the Hambantota harbour as a central location on the Oceanic Silk Route. The excavation of the bay carried out under the second stage to fulfill this objective has been completed. The water capacity of the constructed area is 14 million cubic meters. Sri Lanka Minister of Ports and Shipping Arjuna Ranatunga was present at the inauguration ceremony. It will take 15 days to completely fill the bay. The 110-meter-long off-water diversion dam constructed under the first and second stages of the project will be removed with the completion of this project. A sum of $500 million was spent on the first phase of port construction, which commenced in the year 2008. 109 million rupees have been spent on the constructions of the fuel depot complex. The second stage of the construction has cost the government $308 million. The transshipment operations along the harbour commenced in 2012. The minister said that the aim of the government is to complete the harbour construction at a lower cost.